Welcome to this exploration of one of Christianity's most profound mysteries, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. For over 2 millennia, this event has stood as a cornerstone of faith, sparking debates that span history, theology, and philosophy. In this video, we'll journey through the historical context, theological interpretations, and the challenges surrounding the resurrection. We'll also delve into the evidence that continues to fuel discussions among scholars and believers alike. Whether you approach this from faith, curiosity, or skepticism, there's something here for everyone. Let's begin. Resurrection of Jesus Christ. The resurrection of Jesus Christ is a central tenet of Christian faith, sparking extensive theological and historical debate. This topic has been explored from various perspectives, including historical, theological, and philosophical angles, each offering different interpretations and implications. Historical context and interpretations. The resurrection of Jesus has been a subject of debate since the 1st century AD, with skepticism and agnosticism challenging its historicity. The Enlightenment period, with its emphasis on rationalism and positivism, intensified scrutiny of the resurrection, questioning its veracity from a scientific standpoint. Despite these challenges, the resurrection remains a foundational belief in Christianity, with early church interpretations emphasizing both the empty tomb and apparitions of Jesus as evidence of his resurrection. Theological perspectives. The resurrection is interpreted through various theological lenses, including classic realistic interpretation, metaphoric realism, and demythologization. These interpretations reflect the diverse ways in which the resurrection is understood within Christian theology, impacting how the gospel is preached and understood. The belief in the resurrection is also seen as a validation of the Church's experience of the risen Christ and the Spirit of Christ, reinforcing its historical reality for believers. Challenges and methodological implications. The resurrection poses methodological challenges in historical discourse, as it presupposes supernatural intervention, which is outside the scope of historical hypotheses that rely on human agency and natural causation. This has led to a polarized discourse between apologetic defense and rationalistic critique, with attempts to redefine and reimagine the resurrection tradition within early Christianity. Historical evidence and scholarly debate. Scholars differ on what historical evidence can substantiate the resurrection. Some suggest that the resurrection narratives stem from faith experiences rather than physical encounters with a glorified Jesus, while others argue for concrete encounters with the risen Jesus. The historical reliability of New Testament testimonies is also debated, with some scholars affirming their credibility and others viewing them as mythological. In conclusion, the resurrection of Jesus Christ remains a complex and multifaceted topic, with ongoing debates about its historical and theological implications. Despite differing interpretations, it continues to be a pivotal element of Christian doctrine and belief. What evidence supports the historicity of Jesus' resurrection? The historicity of Jesus' resurrection is a topic of significant debate and analysis. Several lines of evidence are often cited to support the claim that Jesus' resurrection is a historical event. Key evidence supporting the historicity of Jesus' resurrection. Gospel accounts as historical documents. The 4 Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are considered by some scholars as ancient literature that provides historical accounts of Jesus' life, death, and resurrection. Archaeological findings have confirmed many details in the New Testament, such as names of officials and geographical sites, lending credibility to these texts as historical documents. Empty tomb and resurrection appearances. The empty tomb and the post-resurrection appearances of Jesus to his disciples and followers are frequently cited as evidence. These events are documented in the New Testament and are central to the Christian faith. The empty tomb and appearances are seen as complementary evidence that solidified early Christian belief in the resurrection. Disciples' experiences. Different scholars interpret the disciples' experiences of the risen Jesus in various ways. Some suggest these were faith-based experiences or visions, while others argue for tangible encounters with Jesus. These experiences were pivotal in the disciples' proclamation of Jesus' resurrection. Transformation of early Christianity. the rapid growth and spread of Christianity are often attributed to the belief in Jesus' resurrection. The resurrection was a central theme in the apostles' preaching and teaching, and it played a crucial role in the formation and expansion of the early church. Historical and theological arguments. Some scholars argue that the resurrection is supported by both historical evidence and theological necessity. The resurrection is seen as a divine miracle that underpins the Christian faith, providing hope and assurance of future life for believers. Conclusion. The historicity of Jesus' resurrection is supported by various forms of evidence, including the gospel accounts, the empty tomb, the disciples' experiences, and the transformative impact on early Christianity. While interpretations vary, these elements collectively contribute to the argument for the resurrection as a historical event. Historical perspectives on the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The resurrection of Jesus Christ is a pivotal event in Christian theology, with its historicity and interpretation being subjects of extensive debate and analysis. Scholars have approached the resurrection from various perspectives, examining both historical evidence and theological implications. Historical perspectives. Historical evidence and skepticism. The resurrection has been scrutinized for its historical validity, with some scholars arguing that the gospel accounts are historical, while others view them as mythological narratives influenced by faith experiences rather than empirical evidence. Disciples' experiences. Different interpretations exist regarding the disciples' experiences post-resurrection. Some suggest these were faith-induced visions, while others argue for tangible encounters with the risen Jesus. Empty tomb and apparitions. The early church's belief in the resurrection was bolstered by reports of an empty tomb and apparitions of Jesus, which were seen as complementary evidence of his resurrection. Theological implications.
Each offering a unique
traditional versus revised views. The traditional view holds that Jesus' body was physically resurrected, leaving an empty tomb, while a revised view suggests the resurrection occurred in a spiritual realm,
they argue that without the resurrection,
involving
the
an
gospel
empty tomb.
loses its power
Systematic
and purpose.
theology.
Others explore
Theologians like
metaphoric
Barth,
realism, seeing the
Pannenberg, and
resurrection as a
Moltmann have
profound
explored the
spiritual
resurrection
truth
within their
rather
theological
than a literal
frameworks,
event.
emphasizing
This
its
approach
significance
emphasizes the
as a real
transformative
event
power
that
of faith
transcends
over the
mere
need for
fiction or
physical
fantasy.
proof. And then,
Catholic
there's
interpretation.
demythologization,
Joseph
a
Ratzinger's
perspective
Christological approach integrates historical and theological perspectives, emphasizing the resurrection as a historical event that manifests God's action in history. Conclusion. The resurrection of Jesus Christ remains a complex topic, blending historical inquiry with theological interpretation. While some scholars affirm its historicity based on gospel accounts and early church beliefs, others view it through the lens of faith experiences and theological significance. The debate continues to shape Christian theology, highlighting the resurrection's enduring impact on faith and history. Theological interpretations of the resurrection event. The resurrection of Jesus Christ is a central tenet in Christian theology, interpreted in various ways across different theological traditions. Here are some key theological interpretations of the resurrection event. Systematic theology perspectives. Karl Barth, Wolfhart Pannenberg, and Jürgen Moltmann. These theologians affirm the resurrection as a historical and factual event, though their approaches differ based on their theological methodologies. They emphasize the resurrection as a real event, not a fictional or imaginative one, and explore its implications for Christian life and hope. Historical critical approach. Christian versus Reform Judaism. In Christian theology, the resurrection is seen as a manifestation of God's power over life and death, integral to faith. In contrast, Reform Judaism generally rejects the resurrection as a literal fact, highlighting theological differences between the two faiths. Johannine perspective. John 20 verses 1 to 29. This narrative introduces the concept of a post-normal reality following Jesus' resurrection, offering hope and a new normal for the Johannine community amidst existential struggles. Early church interpretations. The early church grappled with the historicity of Jesus' resurrection, balancing the empty tomb and apparitions as complementary evidence. This belief was crucial for the early Christians' understanding of eschatological hope and the continuation of Jesus' presence. Diverse theological interpretations. Pneumatic realism, metaphoric realism, and demythologization. These interpretations explore the resurrection beyond a literal event, considering it as a metaphorical or spiritual reality that transcends empirical verification. Broader eschatological hope. The resurrection is not merely about the reanimation of a body but encompasses broader eschatological hopes, including the renewal of creation and justice. This perspective emphasizes both continuity and discontinuity with empirical reality, reflecting a transformed existence. Conclusion. The resurrection of Jesus is interpreted through various theological lenses, each offering unique insights into its significance. While some focus on its historical and factual aspects, others emphasize its metaphorical and eschatological dimensions, reflecting a rich tapestry of beliefs that underscore its central role in Christian theology. If you like this content, please subscribe, click in the like button and on the bell. That will help us to bring more academic easy content like this. The Creator bless your mind and spirit.